Okay, well, we are carrying on, and we go down to the, where the heck are we at? Oh, Rogue Nation, our Allies and Rogue Nations Act. And, it is the second column of the second phase. Now, I don't know if this comes out to about 1 year of the 4 year term or what when you get done with this. I'm not sure. I gotta look up how many months this is, but I'm not sure. We're at the end of this. You got your State of the Union. So this is probably 1 year, I'm thinking. And then 2 years, you have to go through this 4 times for a term. But we will continue on here in my game. We're up here at the top, Ally Rogue Group Axe. And we're at the Rogue Group Axe. Our allies have acted, and the Rogue Group is getting ready to act. Our Rogue Group that is going to act is going to be North Korea. And we get to roll here on the North Korea action table to find out what kind of action that the Rogue Nation takes. Now, North Korea on my game does have a bunch of tension counters. There's where the tension counters come in to play. We will flip them over. He has a total of 1, 2, hopefully not a 2 spot. Oh no! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, 4 tension counters. All right, well, it'll be our die roll modifiers. Plus the net tensions and sanctions due to North Korea. Status value of DMK's conflict track. Okay, we gotta check that out. Current relative strength favors. Wow. We don't want to get a higher die roll. We already got a +4 on this one. Let me add these up and we'll be right back. Alright, half the status value of the North Korea South Korea conflict track rounded up. So that'd be a 3. Alright, half of that would be, so we'll say 2. We'll give 2. Alright, so that's 4, 5, 6. Ouch! If the current North Korea South Korea relative strength favors North Korea. Relative strength favors North Korea by 1. That's another +2. That's, oh shoot, that's 8. Ouch. Let me go through this again. 4 for these. What do we say this was? The status is 3. It's half of that. 1.5. So it's 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Ouch. Favors North Korea. It does. They're up. You can see +2 ROKs down here. So we're looking at a +8 on this die roll. Ooh, what a killer! This could be the beginning of something, something really bad. And we got a low. Ouch! 14 plus. What a bummer. And then we got something else going on here. If it's blue results, so war, relative strength figure, set up war with all. We'll be right back. We are at war in the Korean Peninsula. One of probably the biggest drawbacks or crisis you could have in real life, much less in this game, and it has fallen upon me with a really bad die roll. Not helped by a bunch of tension counters. Get rid of those tension counters when it comes to these rogue nations activating and doing something. Now we gotta get into this war now. Find some way to diffuse it in our turns coming on up. We'll see how bad it is. And I don't think it's a game loser yet, but it could be. We will see. Our Lady Luck might have just left us and chopped up our heads in the process. Oh my goodness. We don't have much time. We haven't had much time here. Let me see. We have been hit with a big heat wave, and I kind of overdo it when the heat waves come. It don't really affect you until you don't really know it. But it wasn't nothing major. No heat stroke or anything. Just muscle aches and stuff like that. But then we got hit with a bunch of rain, and it has been. I've had some rain days here, and it's surprising I haven't been able to get down here and do more than I've been able to get done. But we've been busy with home projects and back to work. We got a day off today, and I'm glad I could sit down here and get a little bit of a Mr. President on in. We're going to play us a little bit of this game and see what we can do about our bad luck from North Korea. They probably invaded South Korea, but we do have a war going on, and we have to figure out the procedures. It's a new one for our game. Like I said, I'm thinking this is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 4 turns of this. Good luck with that. We'll see. I mean, it hasn't been that bad. You can see with moles pop their heads out, which one's got to be whacked. That's pretty much all it is in these games. So, what else have we been playing? Oh, not much. Like I said, I haven't had much time. I did see a video by Zilla Blitz, one of my subscriptions. Shout out to Zilla if you ever would see, but he's got a great channel. Subscribe. I want to say it's called SGS Stalingrad, and it's a computer game, but it looks really good. And we're maybe wanting to pull a trigger on that one, and we play our medieval game. We've been playing a bunch, and that's a tough game. Oh, well, the thing of it is, on that game, I picked London as my province. I did it randomly, and ever since then, I've been trying to win the game as London in that province. But man, there's a certain way you got to do it. You got to build up your country just right. Hope you don't get invaded. I like getting the economics part of it, so we can bring in that cash every turn. But the opponents see that you ain't got a military built up. You're concentrating on economics, so it's a tough balancing act. So my latest one where I've done is you got to get that military built up. Yeah, because they'll see that you're weak and they will pounce on you. So get that military built up, and then there's just so much you can do with your country. London's not that big of a province, and it's hard for me to bring in resources. I can only do so much, and the only way to do it is expand, and that's through conquest. It's a good game. Anyway, back to this game. Let me check out what we're going to do here on the war with ooh, we got a conflict track. Where is that at here? All right, we'll find all this out. We'll be right back. All right, then. If relative strength favors North Korea, set up war with South Korea. Let's see what goes on here. Relative strength favors North Korea. You can see you're not looking at this here. You're looking at here, right here. See, DPRK, North Korea, South Korea. So it favors them. So it says there, set up war with South Korea and see the war process chart, and we will do that. But also it says if the conflict track is 3 or less, let's look at the conflict track. It's over here. 3 is on 3 or less, so we meet that criteria. So then we'll proceed. If the conflict track is 3 or less, North Korea achieves surprise for an initial war progress roll. So it's getting really bad here. All right, now we'll go over here. Let me show you this part here too. Well, I haven't checked this out yet, but if the North Korean nuke missile track is at 5, game over. U.S. lost. Let's check this out together. Hold on. Relative strength does not favor the same as result. Prepare for war. Well, we're fine, but relative strength does. So the big part now. Let's have our song. Drum roll. If North Korea nuclear missile track is 5, game over. Where are they at? Hold on a second. Let me find this out. What we can find together. Nuke missile track. Where's the nuke missile track? North Korea's nuke. Because, all right, let me check this out here. We'll be right back. And I found it. What are we looking for? It's at 5. Game over. 3, 4. Oh, okay. We're not here. All right. Well, good. Because our missile program is at 2. Okay. Whew. We survived that one. All right. Now we gotta go to war though, so it's still not over. That was close. Wow. So I guess they got a surprise attack. Like I said, they invaded. They've met the conflict track 3 or less. North Korea achieved surprise for initial war progress roll. We will be back with all of that. It's getting hot and heavy here in the Mr. President game. Foreign policy. Be back. All right, so we got to come down here to WM5, and it tells you what to do when a war starts. And we have followed all these steps. We'll take you over here to our... I like this track. I'm liking this war track. We're all war type of guys. Let's get it going. Let's bring it on. All right. State of conflict. It tells you it's a stalemate. And here's our other markers here. Type of conflict. We have got the combined air-ground war. And our attacker is North Korea. And our defender is South Korea. That's as far as we've gotten on our war number 1 track. We will be back. All right, then our scenario already told us that this was a surprise attack, so North Korea is definitely the game that is the attacker, but it gives you a little note here if you were unsure. We'll go down here to continued. All right, next we're going to determine the all-important strength of the forces. And in this, they got a strength table over here on page 16 of WM5. And it does tell you there's a little bunch of stuff here that you can read. But for non-U.S. sides, so if it's not the U.S., you'll come down here for your allies. South Korea, if it was the U.S., would have a strength of 6. It's non-U.S., which is a 3. Underneath the parentheses for non-U.S. sides, that's what the parentheses is for. So we're starting off with the 3. Well, plus U.S. troops / air in the Republic of Korea, in South Korea box, or in the Asia Pacific, or any carriers in the Eastern Pacific. Marines have to be in South Korea box in order to count. Let me count that up real quick. Be right back. All right, then what I'm seeing is a 6 number for heavy armor or heavy Army heavy in this box. It also wants me to add a carrier. There's a 2, so I'm getting an 8 number. But under here, which is really important, U.S. forces, I'm not seeing anything. What does that say there? I can't see what this says. Let me look over here. Involved national intelligence. I think that's what it says. Something about national intelligence. All right, there's nothing there. All right, there aren't no U.S. force. So I'm going to go back to the scenario setup and make sure this box is empty. Because for an important area is Korea, I can't believe there wouldn't be any forces. Although it did tell me to put 6 Army heavy in South Korea, so we have forces there. We'll be right back and let you know what happens. All right, here we go. 1 U.S. Army heavy in a RK box. This unit is there permanently and cannot be moved elsewhere. 1 carrier, 1 U.S. MC, 1 U.S. AF unit in the U.S. Forces holding box. All right. We might have missed that. We had got placed 1 carrier in the Eastern Pacific. We did do that. So I need to get me some units here. We'll be right back. I'm pretty sure that holding box is the box I just pointed out, so maybe we missed that on set. I'll be right back. All right, it took me a while. I had to look through everything, but that does mean that holding box. I looked at a governing manual. I didn't have a picture of the holding box, but I've looked through other parts in the setup, and that is the holding box, so we will move a carrier, an USMC, and a USF unit in the U.S. Forces holding box, besides the heavy Army in the ROK box. Let me check that out. We'll be right back. All right, then 3 for the initial strength of South Korea, plus U.S. troops in Republic of Korea box, which will be 6 carriers in Eastern Pacific is 2. Here's the numbers we're looking at. 6 here, 2 here, and then it says in any carrier, Marines have to be in the Republic of Korea box in order to count, so they're not. They're just in the U.S. Forces box. So let's see here. Plus U.S. troops / air in the U.S. are in the ROK box or Asia Pacific in any carriers and Marines. So I don't think we get to count the troops in the U.S. Forces box. Let me check this out again. We're right back. All right, then U.S. troops / air in the Republic of Korea box. We do have a 6 heavy Army there, so we'll get 6 on that. Then it says or in Asia / Pacific. That will be, so we're up to 6 for the heavy Army in Republic of South Korea box, 2 for the carrier in Eastern Pacific, so that's 8. 2 for the carrier in U.S. Forces, 3 for U.S. Air Force and U.S. Forces, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The Marines are in the U.S. Forces box, but we can't count them because it says the Marines have to be in the ROK box in order to count. And the Marines are in this box. So going 3, 4, 5, plus 6 is 11. 12, 13 is what I'm counting. Oh, just make sure my number's right before we do this. Right back. All right. 13 for U.S. Forces. 3 for Air Force, 2 for the carrier, 6 for the Army, and another 2 for the carrier in there. And then we'll get another 3 for South Korea's forces. That'll be our total. Be right back. All right, I'm pulling back from all that because I don't think the U.S. is involved. Plus troops. You know, I'm about to look and see, make sure that's right if we add the U.S. troops. This is the number here for South Korea with the U.S. for non-U.S. sides. Wars already in progress. There's not a war already in progress, so I don't worry about that. But I'm thinking we're just going to use this number 3 number for South Korea's forces. We'll check out North Korea's. We'll be right back. All right, little interpretation dilemma, but I think we're doing it this way. I think it says this determined strength for that parentheses means this whole table is for non-U.S. sides. If you go down here to determine strength, this is for the U.S. side. So this little parentheses here is not from this. So we're going to use this whole thing. I don't know what this parentheses is. I think it might be for wars already in progress that do not involve U.S. use value, combat strength, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, South Korea is going to start with a 6. I'm pretty sure. You see over here. 5, 6. South Korea strength of forces will be a 6. And now North Korea will be a 6. So we'll give them a 6 also. I'll be right back. All right, strength of forces is even, but it gets adjusted by, if there's a conflict tract that governs this war, adjust the initial strengths by the current relative strength on the conflict tract. So DPR, ROK at the start were equal, but now they have a relative strength of +1, so we give them a 7 on their little thing here. There we go. We are ready to go. We are on the mark. That is it. Because their strength was, we had to adjust the track, and it is according to this, South Korea, their strength table. I believe that 3 has to do with this for wars already in progress, so we'll skip this. And plus U.S. troops if the U.S. is at war. But I don't think we're at war with them. I think it's just a North-South Korea deal right now. But we will go on from there. That's where we're at from now with this war on the Korean Peninsula. I'll be back. All right, after we determine strength for North Korea and South Korea and North Korea, it says determine strength for U.S. side. The U.S. is not at war. This is a North Korea-South Korea conflict, so I think we're skipping this determine strength for U.S. side because U.S. is not at war. Although I think if North Korea invaded South Korea, we would be involved, but it doesn't say anything about that right here. So we'll keep on going and find out what's going on. And yeah, it doesn't say anything about if we're at war that the U.S. is involved. So I got to find out what's going on with that before we move any further. I'll be right back. All right, we've been through the governing manual, war charts, ally and rogue states tables. Not really finding out what the difference is between this first number here and the second number. We're going for the first number here. 6 is South Korea. 6 is North Korea's starting strength number. We will adjust that by 1 in North Korea's favor because on the relative strength, they have a +1 in their favor, so we'll give them a 1. So they'll start at 7. We will continue with our war then, determining the odds. Express the attacker strength versus the defenders as an odds ratio. Right? I think it's a 1-to-1, rounding down fractions in favor of the defender. 13 attacker strength for blah 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 blah. We know how to do that. So it's a 7-to-6 attack, which is a 1-to-1, I guess. That'll work. Determine the applicable die roll modifiers in the ensuing war progress roll. Surprise for type of forces involved. Oh. Alright. Combat table, WC1. We'll be right back. In the government manual, it does say, in addition to instigating wars against rogue state countries or counter, you may, as a result of a conflict track going to 5 or a crisis card or chart, go to war with others. For example, you may go to war with Iran. The U.S. has a conflict track with them. Or North Korea as part of the South Korea-North Korea war. Huh. So I'm wondering if the U.S. is involved with this one. Because then we could adjust the strength in a heartbeat. So we're kind of at a little impasse here. Oh, or crisis cards. Go to war with, for example, you may go to war with Iran. Or I don't think we're at war with them yet, though. Although if they invaded, it doesn't say if there's a prerequisite. No. In real life, if they invaded South Korea, I don't know what we'd do. We stand back and watch them, or will we get involved? I think we'd have to get involved. Let me find out what's going on here. We'll be right back. All right, after reading and reading and reading, I'm coming down to this little paragraph here. And it says here, in addition to instigating a war, you may go to war as a result of a chart, which we just did. Go to war with others. For example, you may go to war with Iran. The U.S. is a conflict track for that. Or North Korea as part of the ROK, North Korean War. So we're going to add the U.S. forces to that. We're involved in it. That's what the determination is. So then we're going to come down here, and it says determine strength for U.S. side. Shoot. Under South Korea plus U.S. troops / air in the ROK box and any carriers. All right, we're going to do that. The Marines won't count. But we are going to count the 3 U.S. Air Force, the 2 carriers, that's 3, 4, 5, the 6 heavy armor, that's 11, and the carrier in the Pacific is 12, 13. Make sure I did that right. 3 U.S. Air Force, 5, 11, 12, 13. Let me see here. 5, 11, 12, 13. Plus the 3 that's North Korea's strength, or the 6 that's North Korea's strength. Oh, that's crazy. That comes up to like 19. A 6 that's their strength. Let me figure out. I'm still figuring this out. We'll be right back. All right, I'm coming up like this. At war. Republic of Korea, and we have a U.S. counter there. U.S. is always at war, or also at war as the defender. We have our strength forces at 19 for the defender, and the attacker with 7. That's how I calculate it. We got all our forces. It says to include them in there. We're including them in there. It's ready to go. Next, we'll determine odds, which will be a 7 goes into 19. I guess that's 1 to 2. Let me check this out. We'll be right back. That's gonna be a 1 to 2 attack. So I don't understand that. We'll look over here at the odds. Determine the die roll modifiers. Let's go back here. We can find this chart. Be right back. All right, let's get on with this. This is pretty interesting here. All right, determine the applicable die roll modifiers for ensuing war progress roll. Surprise, which is North Koreans do have, it's a +1, but under the table we'll look at a 1 to 1 or less. So roll a d10, apply it, and find a result on a combat table on the appropriate odds column. All right, and the results will be move, loss, and possibly or whatever result. So move or loss, we'll find out what's going on here. 1 to 1 or less. We're going to roll a dice with a +1. And that is a shoot. Forgot what die we were rolling. Roll a d10 +1. All right, d10 +1. 7. Ooh, 5-7. One right, both lost right here. Under one or less. And the brown is combined air ground. That's the type of conflict we have here is air ground. You get all the ones there, but we have a combined air ground, they told us. So one right, both one loss. And tell you what that means. We'll be right back. All right, we're liking this. Underneath the one or less with a 5-7, the result was a 7. You know what though? I think that would be a -1. We want something in favor of the. Well, if they would have got a move one right, we got to move it to the left. Oh, 1-1. Oh, let's look at here. Here you go. Yeah. Okay. Let me look and see how I would have gave that modifier. I'll be right back. It's got to be in favor for the North Koreans. Be right back. All right. I think we want a lower one. Either or, it would have been a 5 or a 7. That's a 5 or 7 result. So we're good there. 1-1 or less, 5-7 result. Even with a modifier, either way, would have made a difference with a 6. It's in the middle. So one right, and it tells you over here, apply to move left to right by moving the conflict status counter on the status conflict section, the appropriate reward track, moving to player 8, whatever. Here we go. It goes to 1 to the right. So we're going over here, and its conflict status will go 1 to the right. It was a stalemate, but right now, and it makes sense as to what the number was, 19-7, that the defending forces are winning. So not too smart for the North Koreans to attack the South Koreans and combine South Korean U.S. forces, which makes sense totally. Both one loss. So we'll see what goes on here, what it says about that. Be right back. All right, then. Both one loss. So that does here is take us back to this. He'll go down to a 6. And I'm going to do this over. They were at a 6. We're going to put them down to a 5. It says it only applies to Republic of Korea forces because the U.S. is assumed to have all their forces be replaced with losses. So let me check out the U.S. forces strength. We'll be right back. Right then, U.S. forces in the region combined for 13 strength points. We'll do it like that. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but we're at Republic of South Korea is at 5. They were at a 6. They lost 1. And North Korea lost 1. So now the type of conflicts it's going to change here because it says a double asterisk result applies only if you are currently fighting a combined air-ground war, which we are. It means that after you apply the list of results, immediately change the conflict type to guerrilla war. So what happened was Kim Il-sung, or whatever Rocket Man's name is, went across the border in a stupid surprise attack, attacked the combined Republic, South Korean U.S. forces, lost not much. I mean, he lost forces. We're going to have to change our public opinion with this also, and other stuff we'll do. But in that war, he isn't suing for peace, but he's changing it to a guerrilla fighting. He went in conventionally, got his butt kicked, which he should have gotten. I mean, the results weren't that bad, but it has changed to a guerrilla-type conflict, which is kind of cool. We're with you. We're with you. All right, now, blah, 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 blah. Game assumes U.S. replaces losses at the cost and support at home. Instead, when the U.S. losses are indicated, there's an immediate -2 public approval. Then make both relations with media check and RWC check. If you fail either both, -1 to your rating. Immediate public approval. I hit my public approval counter. I got to find out where that was. I think it was at 40%. So we got to go back there and look. I got to hit my counter. It's one of the bad things about having these books here. So we will do that. And we'll be right back. An important caveat, though, it says, where do I see that at? Important. Ignore all asterisk when making the initial war progress roll. That's what we just did immediately after the war starts. So we will not change it to a guerrilla war. It is still combined air-ground war. There you go. Now I'm still kind of determining on split on how to do this. We got the U.S. and the ROK at war here, so I don't know if that's the way you do it or if I'm making me a whole new track for the U.S. We'll have to see. It doesn't have on this conflict track a U.S. North Korea side. You see here, India, China, India, Pakistan, Russia, NATO, Russia, Ukraine, China. So there's really no. There's a U.S. Iran conflict, but I guess it's, it's assumed. I'm not sure. Let me check this out and see if I want to do it this way. We'll be right back. All right, I took off the U.S. war counter. ROK. We're going to take off the forces. We don't really add those in right now. It's a relative strength of these two. When it comes time to determine strength, we'll put the U.S. forces on in there. But I'm not going to put both counters on there. It's a war between North Korea and South Korea, and U.S. forces are just coming into effect when it has time to determine the initial strength. Right here, there was 6, and it's gone down because I've taken losses. All right then, and no asterisk for the initial war progress roll, so we will not be shifting that to guerrilla war. All right, so let me see. Apply regional impact. Let me see here now. See additional how to handle wins, loss, double ask, blah 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 blah. For a loss result to the U.S. side, don't reduce any U.S. the game assumes. Apply the result. How do we do that? They're kind of vague on this. It's been a good game so far, but man, we're getting into it. I'm gonna have to look at somebody else's videos because we're trying to determine here with the Korean War what we're doing with the U.S. side. Way back. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have the U.S. really involved. We're just adding their numbers to the relative strength when it comes time for the determination. So we're going to leave it at this here. U.S. is out. I mean, I'm not going to start another track up here for them. Plus, there's not a conflict track. It's just a ROK, North Korea, South Korea track. So, okay, we're moving down here. We apply the results. We will not be getting any hits for the U.S. Public approval because the U.S. hasn't taken any losses. I'm not getting a lot of losses to the U.S. and giving losses to South Korea. So this is the initial combat or initial war progress roll anyway. After you apply results, -1 in the regional crisis in the war's region. Regional crisis. And it'll be -1. Are you sure about that? -1. Oh, +1. Okay, I was going to say +1. So that goes up to 2. Right here. Regional crisis +2. If U.S. forces were involved, also place 1 U.S. military footprint counter in the region. We will do that. Be right back. We put our U.S. military footprint is in the region. And it says that place U.S. blah, blah, blah. If one side wins, nobody has won. If neither side wins, there's no peace. The war continues. The war progress action is finished. You perform this progress again during the next war progress segment. If the U.S. is involved, you may choose to immediately spend 2 action points to increase military spending for the war. Ooh, all we got is 2 action points. Public support for the war. +1 to U.S. side. Strength. Ooh. If you spend the action points, make a state of economy check. If you pass improving economy, counter U.S. -2 to public approval. Ooh, we might have to spend this. Let me look at that real quick. We'll be right back. So anyway, on the very back of this booklet, here's what we're looking for. Supporting allies in war. We've been answering, looking for all these questions. Let me read this and I'll let you know what it says, but I'm pretty sure this is what we're looking for. Whew, long time looking, but yeah, this should answer what's going on. We are not really at war, but supporting allies in a war. So we'll be right back. Support for South Korea. Use any U.S. ground. I think I did this right. Support any U.S. ground. Use any U.S. ground, blah, 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 counters in the box. and any carriers. We did that. Forces any Republican community support auto-K in the war. They cannot be used for any other until I note that the heavy army unit present in the game starts at Allied box orders permanently, blah, 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 blah. So I think we did it right. We're not really at war. We're just supporting them. So all your answers will be right here in the governing manual at the very back. Supporting allies at war. There you go. And I don't think this here... U.S. forces also place one U.S. military footprint. If one side wins, no other side wins. If neither side wins, the war continues. This war progress is finished. You perform this progress again during the next war. The U.S. is not involved. We're just supporting an ally, so we don't have to do that, which is good because that would have took off our action points. So far we've done it good just on intuition, but we've done it the right way, where you will add the U.S. number to the South Korea's number here. That's all you do. We're good to go. We'll be back. Let me see here. The video's getting kind of long. Let me see. After rolling for North Korea, remove all tensions. Let me make sure we're doing this right. If the result falls within the blue area, die rolls. Then add 1 to North Korea's nuke missile track. So we'll add 1 to their nuke missile track, and they will go up here to 3. Miniaturization. Mating warheads, I think is what it says there. +1 tensions on North Korea, ROK, Japan, China. Supposed to do all that too. Let me check that out real quick. We'll be right back. Alright, I don't know why it ended. I hope I got everything. But anyway, I'm supposed to replace the UN counter, sanction counter. Always use replacement tension. Always, blah, blah, blah. If North Korea's at war, do one of these next. And we'll be right back. Right, if North Korea's at war, do these actions instead of the action down here. We will go to the C-War status sideboard, and our sideboard says that the defending units are winning, so they're losing the war. If losing the war, roll 1d10. Oh, we will do that. Ready here to roll us a d10. A 9. 9 plus, no reinforcements. Oh, wait, nope. Alright. 1 to 5 would have ended the war. Huh. 6 plus, and we got a 9. Or, if not losing, attempt to reinforce. Huh. Not losing, attempt to reinforce. That don't make no sense. Let me look at this again. Alright, so then we went ahead and rolled this d10. We got a 9. It says, or if not losing, where they are losing, they will attempt to reinforce, so they're not going to do anything because they are losing. It's a 6 of 10. If not losing, and they are losing, they will attempt to reinforce, but they're losing, so they won't attempt to reinforce. We would have did this if they attempted to reinforce, but if they were winning, they would attempt to reinforce and did that, so there you go. Or if not losing, attempt to reinforce. So 1 to 5 would have ended the war, 6 plus, or if not losing, attempt to reinforce. So there you go. That'll be it. Don't do this. We did this instead. It tells you to do this action instead of the action roll. So there you go. Final action roll. We're good enough. We will call this a video. What happened? North Korea invaded South Korea, but because of the U.S. forces, the defending forces are winning, which it makes sense. Oop. Sorry about that. It was a phone call. And let me see. I guess that's about it. We'll just have to go on with the progress of the war. Right now, there's a war in South Korea, and I believe we're doing good. We will address that and further actions. We'll definitely try to reinforce and do what we can do to win that one. It was a bummer on that roll that we did not end the war. Where we at here? 1 to 5. We got a 6 plus. We got a 9. So, but they are losing, so they won't attempt to reinforce. We are done. We are calling that a video. We come back. The United Nations acts. Having a great time with this game. You just got to do all the charts and everything, but that's pretty cool. That worked out really good. We got our tension markers over here. And like I said, when it comes to war with North Korea, you'll go back here and use this, where is that? supporting allies in a war. Support for the ROK takes care of that. We'll be back.